Welcome to Do the Talk podcast. This is your real estate podcast where we teach regular people how to invest in real estate. If you are looking to invest in real estate, you have come to the right place. I am your host today, Ahmed Lawal, and my co host is Ibrahim Ojenide. We are all committed to bringing as is unfiltered information about investment in real estate to you. And that is what we have done for more than a year now. So today is going to be a special episode. I'm very excited. I just want to check with Ibrahim. Are you excited as me?
Yes, yes, finally. I mean, we have been talking about, we want to upgrade, we want to give more quality video. We have the content, of course, but we have some challenges with the videos and everything. So we are dedicated. And today, as you guys can see, I'm not at home right now. I'm outside and I couldn't make it home, but the dedication is strong and I'm excited that I can still catch you guys with my phone, and so I apologize for that. Well, anyway, today is very exciting, and I'm very thrilled because we have a special topic to talk about today. It's one thing to make impact in people's life. It's another thing that people actually feel it, not just you thinking about it. Because really, a lot of people make impact, but the impact is not nobody can come out and really express how they feel about it just because it's a far away impact. What I mean by that is um, for example, the Google phone or the Apple phone, it's hard for you to see somebody go straight to Tim Cook and say, "Oh, you do this to us," because But here, what am I saying is that here we have somebody that is coming tonight and tell us how they feel about Do the Talk and the positive impact we have made into their real estate investment. So Ahmed, I'm very excited, but I'm gonna let you start us tonight. Ahmed.
Yes, absolutely. So tonight is a special episode, like you've seen. It's no topic, it's nothing about uh what we think the market is about, what's how you can buy your real estate. We've discussed all that over the year. Today is about seeing the real impact of all the content that we've been sending out there for you guys, sharing with you, seeing the real impact, right? We already always tell you, like, see, this is happening to us, this is working for us. But today is about hearing the same story that we used to share from someone else. This person is a client, is a partner, is
Wow.
a colleague. It is just so many other things, but I don't want to, wrap it too much, package it too much. The person I'm talking about is Donald Sakala. He is one of our best audience on this podcast, and he is here with us today to share with you guys how Do the Talk podcast has impacted his investment journey. So let me bring in Mr. Donald. Here we go. Here we go. Mr. Donald, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much, and I would like to take this opportunity for inviting me to the show.
Thank
Yeah, welcome. You so welcome. Someone is really jealous of you right now. D is jealous of you. He is asking, is he him or you is the best audience so far? D, you have been on the show so many times, so don't be jealous of Donald. Donald is this is Donald first time. So
Yeah.
okay. On to the show, Mr. Donald. We really appreciate you joining us today, and we are excited. We want to, leverage what you have in stock with us, and maybe this will ginger some other people that are still on the fence or are sitting on the sideline at this crucial point in our life. So, how do you start investing in real estate? If you want to, please introduce yourself and tell us how you start investing in real estate.
Thank you so much, Ahmad, and thank you for the opportunity. So, my name is Donald. Um, I currently reside in Texas. I relocated in 2022. I used to stay in Indianapolis. I was always curious about real estate. was totally clueless about real estate. So how I got to know about Do the Talk, firstly, I started following Ibrahim. So when we were in Indianapolis, there was this realtor, originally from Africa. He was selling a lot. That was in the 2019. So he would always post, and I was always curious. How come, you usually resonate to someone who comes from the same continent as you? So I started following him, pretty much trying to understand, is this real? How does he sell so many houses? Um, Obviously, I was super curious, did a bit background search. What does he do? Then realized, oh, he's a registered nurse. Okay, so okay, so he's a registered nurse. How come he's a realtor? And then did a lot of research. And then in the event of following him, and that's when I realized, oh, they now have a podcast, and the podcast talks about real estate. So that's how pretty much I started learning about real estate, how to invest, and to know that ordinary people like me wasn't earning a lot. I'm not even in the six figures, just a basic salary. And that's how I started following the podcast. Relocated in 2022, and when I was now in Dallas, that's when I really started appreciating Indianapolis. Because usually when you're in Indianapolis, you're in Indiana, you don't really have that appreciation because you don't have exposure to other states.
Yeah.
So when I went to Texas, arrived, started looking at the marketplace. Oh, prices here are way high. So that's when I started following you guys, and I'll say pretty much learned a lot of things from the podcast. And I think the turning point was when I said I wanted to take action. I think that was the starting point.
Absolutely. That is very touching, and we say this all the time, but I think even we that always say it are still taking it with levity hand. Being, residing in Indianapolis or Indiana as a whole is a blessing in real estate investing only if you can recognize it, because to buy a house, your primary residence in some states, you need nothing less than $600,000 just to have a two-bedroom over your head and all that. And the buying is the same and directly correlates with renting. Renting is so high in those states as well. So being in Indianapolis, Indiana is just we don't know the blessings that universe throw at us.
Mm.
So we know that you started, following Ibrahim and following his content. Very interested. By the way, you are so true. Ibrahim is one of the hit maker. If you are in the music, we will call you hit maker.
Yeah,
Is a very big hit
yeah.
maker when it comes to Indianapolis market, when it comes to selling and buying of houses. There's no doubt about it. I mean, if there's anybody that is beating him right now, it's gonna be few. And that is something that he doesn't take lightly. It still doesn't go to his head. It still provide the same value from the day one to his current customer. So I think that is I just dropped Ibrahim key for you guys if you want if you want to do the same. So it still treat everybody the same, and be open minded, and do all that and provide value on this podcast. Did it send you anything to, like, okay, this is our podcast, can you be watching us? How do you find Do the Talk?
So with Do the Talk, since I was already following Ibrahim, it just popped up on my Facebook feed. So when it popped up on my Facebook feed, that's when I started following. So I would say the key things for me that really attracted me to uh, Do the Talk. Number one, it was not paid for. It was totally free. That
Hmm.
was the number one thing. The second thing was, these are immigrants just like me. So that was the second thing. And then the third thing was the interaction. The interaction was so impersonal. you guys would do lives religiously. And within the lives, you'll be able to ask questions, get answers. And even if it's not a live, you guys would always say, post your questions and then would make a follow up. And me being an inquisitive person, I would go beyond that. I would follow up and say that, okay, as much as I did not ask this question, you guys are even come in your inboxes. You still come back to me. This is like this is like this. And another thing that really captured me, because I've attended some workshops, I've paid for some classes, but it never resonated back. With you guys, you say that you can invest in real estate. It doesn't matter even if you earn a lot or earn more. I'm pretty much a person who doesn't earn a lot. So that really attracted me. I was like, okay, with a 60,000 yearly salary, am I able to invest? Are these guys saying the truth? And then I kept on listening to you guys. And then there's a particular episode when you talked about investing as an investor. So as an investor, when you put 20% down, so I didn't realize you can actually borrow that money and then put it down. And I didn't really even realize how they underwrite it. Was under the implication that if you're going to borrow money and then you're going to invest as an investor, they're going to say, "Where did you get this money?" But pretty much when I went for the underwriting, according to what you guys said, because every information that I got was from the podcast, and then I would apply it. So for my loan for my investment, I actually had to go to Forum, which is located in Indianapolis. I went to Forum A, asked for a loan. They gave me a loan, and then I did an application, an investor application. All they wanted to see was, would the house be able to pay for the mortgage, and at least you'll be having some money left over. They did the underwriting. I was crossing my fingers, and it qualified. So when it qualified, I was really shocked, and I think I jumped a stage. Before it qualified, I actually reached out to Hamad. I reached out to Hamad. I'm like, hey man, I'm a new investor. I'm a rookie. I don't know anything. I sent him some couple of properties. What do you think? What do you think? So Hamad actually guided me. And mind you, I don't have a background relationship with Ahmad. I'd never met him. And he looked at some of the properties, told me this one works, this one doesn't work, this one works, this doesn't work. And then finally we narrowed down to a property that would work. And then we submitted that to the underwriters. The underwriters passed it. However, I think that was just the beginning. So when they passed it, uh, I was excited, but at the same time, I now have a property. I don't know what to do with it. So we're talking with Hamad. As much as we're talking on the phone, mind you, we've never met. He's guided me to get a property. I've qualified. We've done the closing, everything. And then the next thing, I sit down with my wife. I'm like, okay, we're at this stage. We've managed to get this property, but babe, we don't know what to do. So I called Ahmad and I told him, hey, I'm gonna be coming down to Indianapolis. Can we meet? Yeah, he said, okay. He gave me a time to meet, and then he was super excited that, okay, you got a property. So in the back of my mind, I told my wife, hey, Ahmad is the one who got us into this deal. He's the one who's going to tell us what to do next because we bought it, but we don't know what to do. So we flew down to Indianapolis, met Ahmad. Took a tour of the property. We really liked the property. And then after that, I just said, hey, Ahmad, man, this is what we're gonna do. You already have a company that manages all the properties, and we're gonna give you the keys. So the first time I met Hamad was the first time I gave him the keys. The first time I saw the house, and then I gave him the keys. And I can say from that point on, um, everything has been going very well. So in a nutshell, I'll say that pretty much do the podcast has natured me, is mentoring me, and got me in the game, and I'm learning a lot of things which I can talk about the whole day, but pretty much in a nutshell, that's where we're at right now.
Thank you, Mr. Donald. Really appreciate that the testimonial. First, I want to clarify something. Did Ahmed paid you some money to come tonight, or did you get any money from Ibrahim or do the talk? Entity? Do we give you some like gift card or anything like that for you to come tonight?
Not at all, not at all. I can say that the person that I've met, and we've only met once. We've only met once, but we've been doing business for a long time. I only met Hamad once when I went to Indianapolis,
Okay,
and with Hamad, we've never, with Ibrahim, we've never actually met. But pretty
okay.
much, these are the guys that are actually handling my business. So I've never met you guys, but pretty much everything is going well.
Great, great. So this is done with, by goodwill. It's not like you are forced to come here to give, fake testimonial and all that. It's just based on the true impact that you felt, you and your wife, and that's why you are here to share the positive impact and see if someone else will, may benefit from it or actually see the value of what we do here at Do the Talk. So we want to appreciate you for coming tonight and really talking to our audience. um and you flattered me a lot. Like you told me, oh, it's one of the great
Yeah,
realtor in
yeah.
India. Of course, I mean, Ahmed and I, we always try to be on top of our game and also provide the valuable services to our clients, regardless of the status, age or race and all that. So, thank you for that. So my question to you is, of course, we all know that real estate, it's not a get rich quick scheme. And I'm sure, with the way things are, you've already, heard that from us multiple times. Now you are feeling it because you are actually in the business. Okay. So is the business, does it align with you know, your perception about real estate? Or is this something that you got into it, now you are regretting?
I'll say that from the experience that I now have, and I could say this in the nicest way. If you're not passionate about the business, don't get in. If you're not passionate about the business, and if you think that you're going to start making money from the first month, I think this is not for you. Real estate is people that are there. The first thing is, with real estate, it has to be a passion. It doesn't have to be about the money. The money follows. And I always talk with my wife that, hey, remember when Ibrahim and Hamad always, all the time when you guys start the podcast, even before you say hi to us, this is not a get rich scheme. All the time. It only started making sense when we bought this property, because it's always exciting. Okay, we got the property, and my wife was already calculating. So okay, so after we get the property, we're gonna start getting this money, and so we bought a fixer upper,
Okay.
and we're thinking, okay, we budgeted a certain amount, and then we reached out to Ahmad. Then Ahmad set us down. He said, okay, your budget is good. However, with the budgets in real estate, especially for renovations, you always have to add a 15% on top of what you are estimating for the cost. So I would say that with Do the Talk, it's really, really good because they tell us everything. However, as listeners, we listen to what we want to listen to. We listen to the figures. We don't listen to anything else. So after getting our feet wet, that's when I realized not necessarily are you going to make money within your first month, second month. It's you're in for the long haul. I'm gonna give a bit of testimonial on our property. So with the guidance of Ahmad, we bought um, the price of the home under asking because of the type of financing that we got. So you guys always talk about the financing types. So Ahmad guided us. Okay, with your financing type, pretty much try and stay away from FHA, because the FHA had so many restrictions for us to get in because they want a lot of things to be fixed. They want this, they want that. So we got a conventional financing. The other investors that we were up against, all of them at FHA. The property was priced at 215,000. We went in with my wife with 160,000. However, the property had a lot of things that it needed to be fixed. So the seller pretty much went with us. So we bought it under asking with about 50,000, I'll say.
Wow,
And
good.
then after, yeah, and this is all from Do the Talk. So I was excited. I told my wife, hey, we bought this under asking and everything. However, that was just the beginning. That was just the beginning. So we got the property, we're happy. And then renovations started. So with the renovations, when they started, uh, with most of the classes that I went, they told me never buy a house that has foundation problems. Never buy a house that has roof problems. So I went with Ahmad. Ahmad was like, if the price is good, don't mind the foundation. Don't mind the roof if the price is good. So we went with Ahmad, and then I was anticipating that the foundation was going to cost like 40,000 or 50,000. Ahmad did his magic, got his contractors, and we were looking at 11,000 for the foundation. So I would say the biggest thing is you need to find mentors that are knowledgeable of the industry. You need to find mentors that are aware of the vendors within the state. You need to find mentors that know the laws. So with Do the Talk, it's people that are doing a podcast based in Indianapolis who are very experienced in Indianapolis. They know what they're doing. So I'll say that from my journey, I'm actually leveraging their experience. It's like I'm a baby who's being carried. So that's one thing that I like about this podcast. It's like they baby you. So I was telling my wife that, hey, before this podcast grows overly too much, let's use this advantage as possible. Because pretty much you guys have been carrying me like a baby. I'm learning from you every day. I don't even know the vendors. I don't know where you guys get the vendors. I don't even know where you get the contractors. I don't know how you do this. But at the end of the day, by contracting Hazio, they pretty much do these things. I'll be sleeping.
Thank you so much, Donald. That was so much information. I don't know if our audience catch it, but I'm gonna cut you off real quick. So pretty much everything started by following Ibrahim around 2019,
Hmm.
and you kind of connect with him with because you know coming from the same continent, doing something that you are looking to go into, but haven't you don't know how yet, but you still don't connect like personally
Yes.
until the podcast really started. And it is you mentioned something that people don't really think much about. So over the 1 year, 1.5 years, I think it's about, oh yeah, over the 1 year period that we've been doing the podcast now, we've been spending money nothing less than, okay, take note of this, nothing less than $150 a week. Over the period of like 60 weeks that we've been doing the, or 65 or 67 weeks that episode that we have that we've been doing this, do the calculation. So we are spending that money without charging anybody, and this is a free information. Not so many people, actually you are part of the 1% that take advantage of that. Honestly, other people don't care. They probably postpone it. They probably think, oh, these guys are just messing with me. I need a lot of money to get in. But you just went in like like I used to do, a blind man. I just go in whatever I want to do something. I just go in and I learn by making mistake. I always make sure I educate myself along the line, but I don't let fear stop me. That is exactly what you do, and you take action. Not only because you are consuming free information now, you now realize like, okay, this is going to be here for me for the next 5 years. So why should I take action now? You took action, like you just do it. Like Nike used to say, just do it, which is what I'm hearing from you right now. It is very, very impressive. You are saying a lot of me, Ibrahim, do the talk. You are not giving yourself enough kudos that you deserve, because in my mind, the we can come here and talk as much as we want, but it doesn't, like Ibrahim said earlier, it doesn't make any difference if no one is using it. Seeing all this information coming straight back from you, and it's really make me happy. And we are talking before we all come live and all that, and we have never actually sit down and have conversation like this before. We've
Yeah,
known each other for a couple of months now, and it's strictly business. Whenever
yeah,
you call me, it's about house, it's about property, it's about real estate, and you just trust, follow, take action, and you take advantage of all the information out there. It is very, very impressive. So I don't want to take anything away from you. I know that the information that we push out is quality and all that, but I'm still not going to take anything away from you, because regardless of whatever we have to say, regardless of what we are saying, if you don't take that information and put it into practice, nothing will happen, Donald.
yeah.
Absolutely nothing will happen.
That's true. That's true. I would say, uh, I think one thing that really stuck out for me is, as I said earlier on, I had attended some paid programs. However, with the paid programs, it didn't really resonate with me. But with you guys, it was like it's real. It was so impersonable, and I could talk to you. I could reach out to you. I could inbox you. And another thing that my wife even mentioned was that they don't even know you. Because with Ibrahim, I've never met him a day in my life, but I've talked to him. And with Ahmad, we've only met once. And that time that we've met once, we speak every week. We talk. So I would also want to encourage people that now that we're in this global village, and especially for out of state investors, there's no reason for us not to invest. I'm going to diverge a bit. But being an immigrant as I am, we we do have this mentality that we have to build home. Building a home is investing remotely. I would say that you need to evaluate the returns. If you're going to invest home, how much money, how much equity are you going to get when you invest home? If you do come from a country where if you're going to invest remotely and you do have as much equity that surpasses the equity that you get in America, you might as well do so. However, do you have access to your property? Do you have access to your property manager? So those are the things that I've learned with do the talk. Because with do the talk, these topics have been talked about. Investing back home in Africa as opposed to investing in the country that you're staying. I know that our audience is way broader than Africa's. Investing back in Europe, investing back in Asia. So I realized for me as a beginner, I wanted to see what I'm investing in, and I went, I walked the property. I wasn't told by my brother back home that he's building, and he never sent me pictures of somewhere where he took pictures. I actually have my deed. And another thing that I think I did not mention, um, with Do the Talk is the one that told me when you're doing your investment property, as opposed to investing in my name, to sign up for an LLC. I didn't know all those things. I started watching this podcast like any ordinary person. I didn't know registering an LLC, the implications. I didn't know the tax benefits. I didn't know all that. So what I usually did, I would watch the podcast live, ask questions that I had in mind, and then I would revisit the recorded video, and then I'll read a bit, and then I'll get knowledge. So I would also encourage people that do watch the podcast that as much as you watching the podcast, go ahead and also do some reading. Go ahead and do some verifications. For me, to meet Hamad, a person I've never met, give him keys to my newly acquired property, and be confident. I did make research. I even said with Ibrahim, I knew he's a registered nurse. Okay, he's doing his real estate on the side, but he's doing his nursing to maintain his license. I know that Hamad is a serviceman. I did all those researches. That's the nice thing about do the podcast. They tell you their background, and this is America. You have got opportunity to do a background check with them. And I would want to encourage anyone right now, before they blow up. Let's take advantage of this, guys. Let's make money.
Thank you, Mr. Donald. So you mentioned something. I want to go back to what you said about, like, we immigrants, particularly the African, origin. We always try to invest back home. We've said that a couple of times on the podcast. The main issue is the currency, devaluation and the inflation, and those are eating away what should be, what should have been the equity if let's say you invest back home. And because of that, a lot of people are not, you know beside the fact that your tenant won't pay, and just because they realize you are not there, or even if they know you are there, however, the economic hardship, I mean, you got to eat before you pay your bill. You know what I mean? So if it's so hard for you to even feed your family, you barely have money to pay for, to pay your rent. So all that negative, economies, bad leadership and all that, the impact, it's really being felt by the masses and the landlord, in particular, since we are talking about real estate here. So, and another thing I want to say is that the reason why I do not support anybody going back home, especially trying to build an investment property in Africa, it's because even if your house appreciate, you cannot leverage on the equity. Excuse me. To my knowledge, I'm talking particularly in talking about Nigeria here. You cannot go to bank and say, hey, I'm talking about regular people. Of course, the billionaires, the millionaires, they might be able to do that just because they have a friend, a buddy in the bank and all that. But the regular people like us, you cannot go to the bank and say, "Hey, I have a house. My equity is this. This is the price of the house. So I need to borrow so amount because I want to do more investment." It's hard to get such a loan. So because of that, and not even thinking about the fact that your tenant will stop paying rent, and also they will mess the house up. And when you look at all that, and when you have to convert the dollars to, I mean, the naira, or your current your country currency into dollars, it's gonna just suck away all the profit, just because the currency over there is not as strong as the dollars. So, and that was why I told Ahmed a couple of times that if we, let's say we were from, like, Germany, like, Kuwait, like, United Kingdom, it wouldn't have been a problem to invest in your country, because when you get that pounds and you bring it back to dollars, you'll be fine. Or you get that Canadian dollars and bring it to American dollars, you barely lose money. But the fact that over there, the currency devaluation, economy hardship, currency instability, because you can get a naira today for whatever 1,400, tomorrow is now 1,600. So it's really tough to depend on that kind of economy. Especially if you are out of the country. So you are on the spot. You hit the nail right. you hit the hammer right on the nail by saying that it is not really ideal or the best thing to invest back home. Instead, people should invest here. You are here. When you get to a Rome, you have to act like a Roman. Okay. And we have to consider the fact that, especially when you have kids here, all your kids, most likely they won't like to go back there and be fighting over land and houses with people that they haven't seen before. And so technically it serves you more if you have your property in the US. There's nothing wrong having just one or two there, but you have to first of all be okay in the US before you think about going back home and try to establish, or further, expand your wealth and all that. So I support what you explained to us, which is, it makes sense to me. My question to you now is, I know you said you and your wife now you are excited. You are experiencing, this landlord, feeling of like, you are feeling it, not just hearing us talking about it. Um, you know, the way the interest rate is right now, it's making things, everybody's feeling it in general. Let's assume next 3 months the interest rate comes down and you are able to buy more properties. Do you feel like you and your wife will acquire more properties, or you want to take a break?
No, so as I stated earlier on, I think with real estate, it's about passion. And um, when it comes to real estate, I've been in analysis paralysis for 4 years. So all these 4 years was 4 years of contemplating, 4 years of going on TikTok, looking at inspirations, going for paid classes. This has been 4 years. The only thing that woke me up is do the podcast. I'm seeing fellow African brothers, they're doing this, they're talking to me. And another thing that I forgot to mention is this is not a selfish podcast. You guys, you open up the doors, um, you invite certain people. So whenever you invite people, it's up to you as a guest to investigate. The other time we had Damola on the show. He spoke. I always do my background check. Did a background check on him. He's doing fixer uppers in Indianapolis. Started learning from him. He doesn't know. I follow him. The other time he introduced a CPA. I already reached out to her. So it's like do the podcast is like I don't know how I can explain it. Things that I'm looking for before I know that I need them, you guys would have already introduced. So it's up to me. It's not like you're going to tell me that Donald, you need a CPA. I realized, okay, I need a CPA. Okay, contacted her. Damola, okay, he's doing this. How is he doing it? Did a background check on him. Oh, okay, he actually does this. He buys properties, renovates them. Oh, what does he do? Well, he's a reader, this and that. So it's things that I haven't been told by do the podcast, but because of the guests that you introduce, I then followed him, realized, oh, he likes reading a lot. He reads about real estate. These are the books that he reads. Okay, he likes going to workshops. Okay, what type of workshops? But I've never talked to him. We've never met. But he can confess that okay, he likes reading. He invests. He buys properties. Does fixer uppers, and it's you have to have passion. So coming back to your question, as you stated that right now I bought when the interest rates are high. I actually learned this from you guys. This was posed as a question: should we wait to invest, um, wait for the interest rates to drop? And you said now is always the best time to buy real estate. And if I have it correct, Hamad said, don't wait to buy real estate, buy real estate and wait. So even in this climate, opportunity comes, definitely buying. And the other podcast, when we were talking, Ibrahim talked about when interest rates fall, these prices are going to skyrocket. So I'm in for the long haul.
Yeah, that is very, very interesting, and the right mindset that is someone needs to have to really be successful in real estate. You see, I when people come to me and said, okay, this thing you say changed my life, or this thing you do change my life, I always tell them like, well, that is because you take action. That is because you take action. Imagine you are, without telling you, you are taking some extra actions that is leading you towards the goal, that is leading you on the path that you really want to be on. You know, some people will wait, like, okay, they need to share the contact of the lady to me directly in text message before I can actually think I need a CPA. Do you think everybody that has watched this podcast, I'll be able to reach out to one of them, individual person, one after the other? We are bringing it on this platform for everybody to see. We are discussing what wholesaling is. We are discussing what property management is. We are bringing it on here so that you can be aware. Now you have the information, you can go and do whatever that suits you with it, which we advise you use it judiciously because time doesn't wait for anybody. The best time to buy real estate is the last 20 years, just like tree. The next best time is today. So you are taking all this extra step, which is why you are on our podcast today. You've bought the first investment property. We are talking about the next one right now, and you are at the point that you've seen it. You've testified to this. This is the statement of this is not a get rich quick scheme, but you are ready. You are like, I'm in for the long haul. I'm not shaking. I've been in this country for a while to know that rent always goes up. So
Yeah.
even if this is not giving me the big buck right now, like Ibrahim used to say, it's going to bring it one day, and
Mm.
I will be able to leverage this. I will be, let's say I have a business I want to buy tomorrow, I can take out equity on the houses that I have and go. So you already understand all this because you are on this platform. Now, my question is, what is next?
Yeah. So what is next in my real estate journey? Obviously, is scaling. Before I start talking about scaling, so as I stated, I've entered this as a rookie. I would like to go back a bit and talk about this property. So when I bought this property, um, the strategy that I was thinking of a strategy of short term or middle term rentals. We sat down with Hamad, and then he did an analysis of the location, and then he told me, Donald, with this location, middle term or short term will not really work. He gave me the options that need to be done, and he's the one who actually secured the tenants that I currently have. Uh, I didn't realize the whole process of Section 8, how it works. He's the one who took care of that Section 8, how it works. So reading about Section 8 sounds very simple. They come, you get a tenant, the tenant agrees, okay, they like the house, you contact the Section 8 people, they come, give nods up, the tenants are in. No, no, that's not the process. They come, they inspect, and I think inspect is a very, very light term. They over inspect. So even the smallest thing like a cracked window, just a small, small little crack. So that I've actually had experience through the property management company showing me. It's like now I'm walking all those theoretical things that has been happening with do the talk. So Donald, this is the inspection. They've inspected that they want a new window over a small little crack. They're saying that okay, the stairway doesn't have this, they need that. So it was a big report, and it's things that I'm learning. So my next step right now, it's a journey. So I'm learning new things in terms of strategies. I'm learning the prices. I didn't even know the prices. How to how to uh, disperse funds to a vendor, disperse funds to a contractor. Ahmad is the one who had to sit me down. Okay, when you're dispersing funds to a contractor, you do three disbursements. So all those things is learning. So I'll say that my next stage is learning, growing, and obviously the next step is obviously increasing the doors.
So in the next 5 years, sorry, Ibrahim, I want him, I want to put him in an accountability box so that he will be running for that. So
Yeah.
in the next 5 years, what do you think your portfolio will look like? And don't think small. Shoot for the highest you think it's possible you can achieve and go for it.
In the next 5 years, to be honest, with our first interaction, because I just want to make it as simple as possible. When we bought this property, it was a period of 1 month. Me talking to Ahmad, I want to buy this, get a loan, do this and that. That was within 1 month. I had two properties. So if I had two properties within a month, to be honest, within the next 5 years, I'm looking at a very substantial number of doors. However, going back to what Ibrahim said, he said it's not about the number of doors that you have, but the quality of doors you have. So, right now, with what I'm learning, I'm not shooting for a lot of doors, I'm shooting for quality doors. So, the next step within the next 5 years, I think I'll be looking at apartment complexes, quality apartment complexes, and pretty much I'll say I'll be looking at apartment complexes within the next 5 years. Quality apartment complexes.
That's a good one, Mr. Donald. Thank you so much. I kind of enjoy your testimony, and also you are kind of how do I say this? You are very thoughtful, and you are dishing it out the way you are feeling it. So everyone can sense that realness in what you are dishing out to us. So thank you for that. What I want to talk about, I mean, you mentioned that now that you are experiencing it, you know that this is a it's not a get rich quick scheme, and of course you are seeing how you are feeling how it is where the Section 8 challenges and all that. Um, I want to use this opportunity to express some or educate our audience, people, out there watching, that cash flow is one thing about real estate investment. The other is equity. The third is tax benefit, and the fourth is uh, the the what do I say? The physical asset, the tangibility, like you are seeing your asset, the house, that's my house, versus your money is locked in, in account in New York, I'm talking about like mutual fund, stock and all that in Wall Street, where if anything fluctuates, your value goes down and everything. Um, where I'm getting to is that all of them, it's really beneficial in real estate because first of all, you see your property, you see how it is, you control the price. Okay. The second one, which is the tax benefit, at the end of the year, it saves you a lot of money. I will not lie to you. Last year, like this tax that we filed, can you imagine that the federal government is paying me back?
Awesome.
Of course, states, I have to pay like 200 and something dollars to the state. We all know states are greedy, but the federal government has to pay me back just because, well, all state most of the time their tax bracket is so they don't have a lot of tax breaks and all that. So what am I getting to? I'm saying I did not. I mean, it happens to me just because I have assets. I have, real estate loopholes. I have the tax benefit and all that. They won't give someone who is doing 9 to 5 that makes whatever I make throughout the whole year and still give that person money back. No, there's no way. There's no way. Okay, yes, you want to claim like 3 kids, 4 kids, all that stuff is just like 2,500 each, or maybe 3,000 each. That's it. So you having real estate, and let's say you have a regular business as well, it's limited. But when you have real estate, you can do cost segregation, and that'll cut down a lot of money just on one property. Imagine you have two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. I mean, it's no surprise why the millionaires and the billionaires, they always have real estate. Go and research them, because real estate is where that's the avenue they use to, cut down their taxes. So this is what I'm getting to. Even if your rental property, the cash flow is not so huge as you are, expecting it to be, or what your family, or your business partner is hoping it will be, it is okay as long as the property is in a good location, as long as the house is in a good condition where, when everything is appreciated, it's going to appreciate, and you can increase your rent year after year, because we know that the rent always go up. Some area it might be huge, some area it might be little, but it will always appreciate. That's the fact about real estate. So look at everything holistically, not just the cash flow. Look at the appreciation, look at the potential in the future where you can increase the rent, look at the tax benefit. I argue that the tax benefit itself alone is huge, especially real estate investment. It's so huge where it's gonna cut down on, even if you are doing overtime on your normal job, as long as you are, you are doing enough hours as a real estate professional, you will get a lot of tax break, and that will save you money. And when you compare what you are paying in taxes to another individual who is doing just 9 to 5, you will see that big difference. So I hope everybody listen to this and you understand this. Real estate, it's more than just the cash flow. It is a compact um, avenue where people can get tax break, get equity, get you see your physical asset. It just keep for me. I see it as a business that keeps me going. I get motivated whenever I see my property, especially if you are doing some strategies where you get to clean the property every month or every 3 months, and everything is just looking nice to you. So of course, we've talked about different strategy. I'm not here to discuss that today. I mean, you can go back to all our videos and watch other strategy in real estate. But what I'm getting to is that real estate, real estate is real, and it's a real deal for taxes, and the benefit is just so enormous. So Ahmed, what
Yeah.
do you have to say? Because it looks like we are running out of time now, and it
Oh,
has been so interesting, and time is against us. And what do you have to say to our audience, and how can you encourage people to look into real estate? Because when the interest rate comes down, real estate is gonna blow up. And uh, I'm in my own opinion, when close to the election, or immediately after the election, the rate will drop. The, r- to my understanding, real estate, I mean, the real estate, I'm so sorry, I just received. Okay. So, to my understanding, the interest rate is high now because of the election. It's political. Because if the current government should lower the interest rate, inflation would go higher. And even though the way it is right now, even though they are saying inflation is coming down, the other party, they keep nagging on like, oh, there's inflation, there's this, there's that. So excuse me, no matter who is on that throne as the president, that person will try to make sure inflation calm down. That way it doesn't hurt him at the election, at the poll. So I see why they're gonna keep the rate high until maybe immediately when they know for sure it won't hurt them no more, or immediately after the election, the rates will come down. And when it comes down, things will get better. But you don't want to wait till that time. But I would say if that's the time you are ready, go for it. Jump on it. Because at the end of the day, real estate, it's always real, no matter when and how you do it. So Ahmed, what do you
Yep.
have to say, please?
So I just want to remind our audience the journey of our guests today. This is someone that comes from being a newbie. So he just told us that he's looking to scale and is currently looking at apartment complexes, which he already sent me some, so I can testify to that, right? So coming from a position of a newbie into the position of looking at apartment complex, that is so massive and powerful. I want to bring that back because some people will just view that as a normal. It is not normal. Not if you are not taking action, it is not normal. The only person that can dare things like that is people that is like having the abundant mindset of, if this person can do it, I can do it too. He already told us he's not making millions a year, so don't think he's a millionaire or he's a rich guy. Forbes actually categorize a rich guy as someone that is making a million a year or more. So if he's not making a million or more in a year, and he was a newbie in 2023, listening to Do the Talk podcast, reaching out to people, making the right connection and everything, taking all those action to the point of looking at apartment complex now. That is a huge transformation. Now, he has enjoyed the journey, and you can still hear it from him. He's very humble. He never take any glory for it. He never say, oh, it's because I take action, it's because of this. That is why I keep bringing it back to him taking action. So regardless of every tools or information or resources at your disposal, if you are not taking action, nothing will happen. Now relating it to Ibrahim advice, if you decide to wait because the rate is high, you have million people that are waiting
Mm.
right now to compete with when the interest drop. You have actually people even outside the country are waiting for the rates to drop. So you have a lot of people to compete with at that point. So don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait. It might not give you all the money that you want to be able to retire your job at your job right now, just like Ibrahim already educated us on that. But it is there, and at some point it will be able to. But if you don't do it now, at that point you will still be like, you know jumping, trying to catch the bus, while you should be in the bus, sitting, relaxing, and taking in all the AC, air conditioning, the cooling system, and all that. So Donald, we really really appreciate you. One final word. I want you to say something that you want our audience to learn from your journey and take away from this podcast today.
Thank you so much for that, Ahmad. I would want to say to our audience, uh, just for the mere fact that uh, you're alive and right now you're in America, it's doable. And if I can do it, and um, I was so gracious to even say how much I was earning when I started this. Uh, it's not about how much you earn. It's about learning which strategy you have to use. There's so many strategies to get into real estate. Real estate is for everyone. It's not for specific income earners. Anyone can get into real estate. Um, I would encourage our viewers to get their feet wet. I've been in analysis paralysis for 4 years. If I started walking within the last 4 years, I would have been somewhere else. I would say that start moving. A lot of things that I read about, I forgot, but now it's like I'm learning again. So the most important thing is to take action. all the other things, listening to real estate podcasts, reading, yeah, it's okay. But get your feet wet, and then that's when your journey starts.
Thank,
Absolutely.
yeah, thank you, Mr. Donald. The time is up. So we want to thank our audience for tuning in, and it is a great Friday. Like Ahmed, as he mentioned earlier, this is our last live. However, we are going to be present. If you have any question, concerns, you can email us, text us. But we will upload video every week. More quality video, more informational, more content-driven videos. So we want to thank you guys. Ahmed, how can they reach out to you, or do you have any last word before we wrap?
Yeah, if you want to reach out to me now, we have addition to our means of reaching out. So you can reach me now on acupm.com. You can fill out the form to get your free property assessment, or you can reach me on 765 or on any convenient social media platform, and I will be very responsive and I will get back to you as quickly as I can. So Ibrahim, if people want to reach out to you too, where can they do that?
Thank you for that. So I want to say one last thing. Do the Talk podcast. We are resourceful. Okay. You have a real estate broker, you have a property manager, a reliable one, you have investors. We have a lot of, actually, I should say, multiple investors. If you wholesaling, just investors that can connect you with another. We have contractors, we have even handymen. Let's say you don't need someone, you just want someone to help you with minor stuff. We have that resources. So technically, this is like a almost, I don't know if I should say, it's almost one stop shop. If there's anything we don't have in this podcast, we will get it. Like, we will tell you where you might be able to get it. Okay. But we are pretty confident anything concerning real estate, you will get an answer. Okay. We don't know everything. However, whatever we don't know, we always seek the knowledge, just because we are trying to make this a platform where everybody will be able to benefit and feel the positive impact. So if you want to reach out to me, go to ibrealtors.us. That's the website. You are able to look for houses and all that, and also call me or text me. There's a link there on my WhatsApp and all that. So check me on WhatsApp, IB Realtors, Instagram, Facebook, IB Realtors. So thank you for you guys for tuning in, and I think that will be the end of the show tonight. So we will catch you guys another time. Thank you, D. Thank you for being our valuable audience. All right. Okay. It's long. Thank you. It's over.